back, students. Today we are going to discuss about the basic concept of heat load as well as cooling load. In previous lecture, what we have done in the last lecture, I think we have discussed about the Bureau of Energy Efficiency ratio, star rating, how the star rating is done, how the level of star rating is given by the authority, which that is Bureau of Energy Efficiency, and we have already discussed about the comfort condition, comfort climate, what are the various factors which are affecting the human body comfort. So in this regard, we are continuously progressing toward the course. And in HVAC system, the most important part, when we talk about the design of HVAC system for a building, the most important part is heat load, because when we need to install some air conditioning system, then we must know the how much amount of heat is to be removed, how much amount of cooling is to be provided for that particular speed. So in this regard, we need to calculate, we need to check how much load is there, whether it is cooling load or it is heating load. First of all, we need to understand how much cooling load or heating load is present in that building where we have to provide some comfort condition. So in this regard, the heat load part is very important, the cooling load part is very important. So and it is very vast, it is very broad topic in HVAC system. So that's why we will going to discuss it in various parts, like part 1, part 2, part 3. So in part 1, we will discuss about the basic funda of heat, the basic concept of heat load, basic concept of cooling load, what is the category of heat, how it is trapped in the building. These things will be discussed in this lecture. So let's see, first and most important thing, the term which is generally used in field of HVAC, that is heat load and cooling load. We need to understand first what is heat load and what is cooling load. Suppose a climate which have temperature of around 4 to 5 degrees Celsius, the climatic condition or outdoor condition is 4 to 5 degrees Celsius, it means it's very cold area, so chilling winter is there, and in that area we need to provide some air conditioning system. We need to provide a comfortable temperature, means if outside temperature is 5 degree, when for comfort condition we need to maintain the indoor temperature around 24 degrees Celsius. Then what we have to do? We need to supply some quantity of heat just to attain the temperature around 24 degree Celsius in the room. So for this process, we need to supply some quantity of heat, some amount of heat, and for that we have a heat pump, we have a heaters, we have a furnaces, we have a boilers. All these equipments are being used to supply heat in that particular area. So the amount of heat is to be added just to attain the comfort condition in the building is simply called heat load of that building. Means how much heat is to be added to attain the comfort condition. This is called the heat load. And in case of cooling load, when we talk about the cooling load, what is happening here? Let's see. If the climatic condition is very hot, means if the outdoor temperature is 40 degrees Celsius, here it is 40 degrees Celsius is the climatic temperature, outdoor temperature. So in order to maintain the indoor temperature of 24 degrees Celsius, what we have to do? We have to add some amount of cooling, some amount of refrigeration. We have to remove the heat with the help of applying some cooling effect. This is called the cooling load. How much cooling is required to attain the temperature of 24 degrees Celsius? This is called the cooling load. For that, we have a air conditioner. What is the role of air conditioner? It simply provides some refrigeration effect that will remove the heat from that space and will provide some cooling. This is called the cooling load, and it is the simple difference of heat load and cooling load. Although it in general in our area, it is simply a heat load term is very common. For all purpose, we generally use the heat load word. It doesn't affect anything. The concept should be clear, what is the heat load and what is the cooling load. We can use the term, but the concept is most important, where the heat load is calculated, where cooling load is calculated. So this was the basic funda of the heat load and cooling load. Now Come to the mode of heat transfer, because when we talk about the heat load or cooling load, it is very important that we need to understand how much heat is trapped in the building, how much heat is available in the building, and what are the various mode of heat transfer. If we talk about the mode of heat transfers, we have already known in the previous semesters, might be in third year or second year in heat and mass transfer or thermodynamics. We all know that the heat is transferred in three ways: the conduction, convection, and radiation. There are generally three mode of heat transfer. In case of heat trapped in the building, let's see what are the various mode, in how much mode are being there to accumulation of heat in the building. Here it is the sun. You can see the amount of heat coming from the sun to the roof of the building. This is called the radiation, solar radiation. This mode is called the radiation. It is the radiant heat coming from the sun to the roof of the building or on the wall of the building. And once the heat is strike on the wall or roof of the building, then it will pass through this area, and when it is transferred through the outside wall to the inside or to the inner wall, this transfer will be known as conduction, because heat is transferred through the solid medium. If heat is transferred through the solid medium, it will be known as conduction, heat transfer through the conduction. And here you can see easily the heat transfer through this wall will be known as conduction, and again here heat is available, and here it is simply beam is placed through this beam. The heat is transferred to the room or to the space. This transfer will known as conduction, means heat is transferring through the solid medium, through the beam. That will be a conductive heat, which will be called as conductive heat or heat transfer through conduction. Once the heat reach in this space, then with the help of air available in the room, whether it is natural air or it is air supplied by the fan in the room, this heat will be spread in overall space of the building, or whatever the space is, that might be a room, or that might be hall, lobby, whatever it is. The all heat, which is conductive heat, which is transferred through the conduction, this heat will be spread with the help of air. This conduction, this mode of transfer is called convective transfer or heat transfer through convection. So we can easily understand with the help of this diagram that heat is trapped in the building or heat is accumulated in the building with all three medium involved: radiation, conduction, as well as convection. So this was the basic funda of mode of heat transfer. With the help of this diagram, we can easily understand how the heat is transferred in various mode from sun to the space where we live. Now let's see the components of cooling load. It's very important that what are the various components. Basically, when we talk about the source of heat, when we talk about the source or category of heat in the building, then it is broadly classified as a two category. One is external loads, one is internal loads. Means if you talk about the heat of the building, then overall heat can be calculated by calculating the total external heat, total internal heat. What is external and external? Let's see in the diagram. There are some sources which are available outside the building. Some sources which are available outside of the building, that will be known as external loads. In external load, there is the solar radiation, means the sunlight, the solar light, solar radiation coming from the sun to the building is called the solar radiation. It is the biggest source of heat in case of external load. And here is some conductive heat gains, means the heat available in the atmosphere, the heat available in the climate will be conducted through the wall in the room. This will be known as conductive heat gain. And here is the infiltration. Infiltration means when there is a pressure difference simply if you talk about the pressure difference between the outside and indoor, then if the pressure of outdoor is higher than the pressure of indoor, then outside air will enter in the room through the leakage, through the cracks in the wall, through the leakage in the window, or there are some minor space space available in the door and windows in form of cracks and gaps. So outside air will enter into the room through various channel which are available in the building, like crack and some wide space, some holes are available. So movement of air from outside to the indoor, movement of the air from outside to inside of the room, this is called the infiltration process. Through infiltration, outside air will enter into the room. This is called the infiltration process. So these three sources are simply called external loads of the building. And when we talk about the internal load, if we talk about the total heat in the night, then there is no external load, there is no sunlight, there is no external conductive heat gain, there is no infiltration. Then although room is very hot, so there must be some internal source must be available. There must be some internal load, heat loads. You can say that there are certain sources available in the building itself. The first is electric lighting is a source of heat that will provide some heat in the room. And here is the computer and other equipments, which is also internal source of heat. And here is occupant, that is most important thing, which is in HVAC system or in HVAC language it is called occupancy. Number of people will cause the heat addition in the building. So it is also the internal source of heat. So if we combine together external as well as internal sources, we will get the total amount of heat is available in the room. So if we want to cool that space, if we want to provide comfort condition in the space, then what we have to do, we have to provide some refrigeration effect just to remove the available heat. So this is the basic component. We will discuss it in detail in coming lectures, that how they are adding heat, what are the category of it, whether they are sensible or they are latent. We will discuss it later. Just try to understand what are the various sources, what are the various points from where heat is adding in the room. Now let's see the sensible as well as latent heat, because when we talk about the heat, there must be a question that heat might be a sensible, might be a latent, or it might be a combination of sensible as well as latent, because heat is, if you talk about the total heat, it is categorized as the sensible heat plus latent heat, is a combination of sensible and latent, that is the total heat. So all those heats are available, whether they are internal or external, they must be classified, they must be visible that they are sensible or latent. So let's see the concept of sensible and latent heat. Suppose we have a container of with some water at 60 degree Fahrenheit. The temperature of this water is 60 degree Fahrenheit. When some amount of heat is added in the container, then what is happening here? The temperature of this water is increased by 212 degree Fahrenheit. The temperature of this water is now increased 212 degree Fahrenheit. So in this process, the amount of heat is added is called sensible heat. The amount of heat which is utilized to increase the temperature, or it might be decreased. Suppose the amount of heat is extracted from this container, then it will be at 60 degree Fahrenheit. It means the amount of heat which is utilized to increase or decrease the temperature of substance is simply called sensible heat. The heat can be sensed, the temperature change can be sensed. The process of heating or cooling in which the change in temperature can be sensed is called sensible heat, which can be seen in the diagram. From 60 degree Fahrenheit to 212 degree Fahrenheit, the change in temperature can be sensed. And if it is cool, it will be at this. So change in temperature can be sensed. So heating or cooling, both are sensible. So amount of heat which is utilized to heat and cool the substance is called the sensible heat. And in the second example, let's see, it is, suppose this water at 212 degree Fahrenheit is here. It means it is 100 degrees Celsius. When heat is applied, now what is happening? This water is converted into water vapor at the same temperature. The temperature of this water is unchanged, 212 degree Fahrenheit. Here it is also 212 degree Fahrenheit. Means 100 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Celsius, temperature is constant. But although heat is applied. It means the amount of heat is applied in this system is to utilize, change the phase of that liquid. That water is now converted into vapor. So amount of heat which is used to convert the phase of any substance is called the latent heat. The temperature is constant. Temperature is constant whether it is heating or cooling, but if the phase is changed, if the phase is changing from liquid to vapor, vapor to liquid, from liquid to solid, solid to liquid, whatever the phase is changing, the amount of heat which is utilized to change the phase of the substance is simply called latent heat. So here is the basic concept of sensible heat and latent heat. Hope you got the point, how the sensible heat is used to change the temperature, how the latent heat is used to change the phase. So you should remember, the amount of heat which is just utilized to change the temperature is called sensible. The amount of heat which is just utilized to change the phase of the substance is simply called latent heat. So hope these are the basic funda of the heat load and cooling load, and the basic funda of sensible heat and cooling load. In further lectures, we will discuss about the various component, how they are taking part to add the heat, whether they are sensible or they are latent. So till then, take care. Goodbye.